there's been a couple across different organizations from certain years of those batteries where the battery management system goes. But to be honest, depending on how long you've had them, I mean, they only last for like 5 years anyway, but
Yeah,
we've been seeing them go as soon as 2 or 3.
Yeah, that kind of lines up with how long we've had them.
They're very
it's
expensive,
just a really unfortunate timing.
They're about $1,500 each.
I wonder if there's any thing published on the manufacturer's website or any scuttlebutt on the internet about the batteries.
Some kind of recall notice or something like that.
Yeah,
could send
like
out a message on RV Tech to see if anybody's.
You might be able to push Sonardyne into giving us some comp batteries.
Yeah.
Especially since we don't have hundreds of their beacons.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a Sonardyne rep listening.
Maybe.
What's up with your batteries, man?
Yeah.
Killing us.
Yeah. But I think they say 5 to 7 years for the battery just in general, and then we saw at least one of ours go at around the 2 or 3 year mark.
It's about what I get out of my UPS batteries at home. They cycle all the time because Oregon powers all the time. Well, where we are, way on the end of the pavement there, wind blows over 20 miles an hour and the power goes out.
So the cable is out 210 meters now, and we'll get another update at 500.
Roger, thank you. How many personnel aboard the cable innovator? Any idea?
I saw about 12 on the back deck, or at least 10 when they were launching the mud mat.
Minimum 10.
Minimum 10.
And there are ONC personnel over there as well.
Yeah, 4 ONC personnel.
Plus Eddie.
Plus 1 contractor.
Hey, Amber, can you zoom in on the hangar door there and the red in the middle of the ship?
Yeah, on the ship, sure.
Is that the ROV door?
I don't know. Would be a good place for one.
I don't see a A-frame over there, but maybe it's just not installed. She's going in. It's great color scheme on those stacks. Look at that nice two-tone teal against the red. I mean, they know what they're doing.
Hey, where am I pointing?
Oh, I see their ROV now. You see their ROV on deck there?
There it is, yeah, up top.
At the top part, yeah.
So you can see the cable tracker sticking up on the front of it.
Okay, gotcha.
Docking head.
Oh yeah, now I see.
Nice catwalk.
Is that common to have a like
your docking head?
You know, an ROV that's driving along the ocean floor?
For a cable ship, it is. That ROV will have massive horsepower, and it can bury the cable all like 2 meters.
Yeah, big water pumps, right? And they
big jets.
Have you been on the cable innovator, Dan?
I have not. No.
Were you on the Wave Venture back when?
Yeah, I've been on the Wave Venture.
Yeah.
They do a lot of cable inspection work too.
I've been on the cable innovator, but just to go to the bridge and have lunch, so
That's
it was alongside
Compare
Dawn.
chefs, yeah.
Nico has a different experience through life than
Eh.
the rest of us.
Do their, does their glossy brochure advertise what vehicle they have on there?
Sorry, what is that?
I was just curious if their website tells what any specs on their vehicle, who makes it.
Take a little peek.
Flying.
What company supports it? So Sonsub vehicle or Perry vehicle? Or
They're flying their shapes just like we do when we're doing this ops, kind of ops.
Dag does mention that they launch from the center of the ship like that to reduce heave,
absolutely.
just like a lot of Lars systems would do.
Have you guys in the front ever piloted an ROV like that? Those,
Yeah, many times.
is it harder, easier, completely
Water
comparable?
tractor.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, they're a lot more complex than a regular ROV in many ways. But we've had cable tractors and dredgers such on a regular ROV. But operating a trencher is a special kind of breed of, a special branch of ROV tech.
I'm surprised it's more complicated. I would have thought, you know, having 3 axes of movement would have made it harder with something like Herc.
The cable management is really challenging on a big vehicle like that. So you have a really heavy cable that goes directly to the vehicle. So any turns in the cable are catastrophic, and re-terminating that cable, they usually have a giant, it's called an armadillo in the trades, but it's a giant bend restrictor that interlocks. So just, to do a re-termination of that thing with a good crew is 24 hours of blood, sweat, and tears. Big cable, 3 inches in diameter. They're very heavy. They have a lot of parts that just, fall off with a thing sitting there on deck.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving parts on it. It is truly a subsea tractor in many ways if they have the crawlers on them. The crawlers actually come on and off, so you can take them off and make it a regular ROV.
Oh, really?
But the power that's required, so if you take like a regular commercial ROV these days is 250 horsepower. Well, they add another 250 horsepower just to operate the trencher and the tracks. So you have a massive amount of power running down that wire. So just all the topside stuff, there's a 20-foot container full of power equipment to power the thing. Big generators to run all that stuff. So having the power factor correct going down the wire to all the stuff on the machine is a lot more critical. All the mechanical moving parts and the seabed and the mud, dragging your parts of your ROV through unknown seabed.
Yeah.
And then the machine operating in that environment, that silty, muddy environment where they're burying cable is really hard on it. So they're very, very maintenance intensive machines. So.
And I imagine they're selective about the terrain they're crossing too, right? Like it's got to be they're not skirting between columns or anything like that.
Yeah, what tears them up is, they're going along trying to bury cable and they hit a rock or something and that tears the jets, damages the jets. You have to recover that, repair that, go back down, get back on the cable and continue trenching. A lot of times they have to make several passes to get the cable down to a required depth, and then they go over it with that cable tracker you saw in the front. So that thing's like a giant metal detector. and they can tell how deep the cable is buried. So a lot of times, shallow water where they're burying a cable, you know, coming off the beach or something, there's a requirement to bury it to X amount of meters,
Yeah.
2 meters or 1 meter or whatever.
Is it that much? Really, 2 meters down?
Yeah, a lot of them can
Man.
bury the cable a couple meters down.
That's crazy. That's wild. Yeah.
They have to protect it from, you know, trawlers and fishing boats and anchors, and all the other stuff that is likely to damage a shallow water cable.
And that operation doesn't make fizz just impossible.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, especially with the sediment we saw a couple days ago.
Yeah, totally. You can't, a lot of times you can see nothing. It's completely off the instruments.
Wow.
So the cables, once it's in the machine, it has guides to go through it, but the cable tracker in front's actively tracking the cable. And there's 2 different types. One is kind of a passive, like a metal detector, and then there's one where they put a tone in the cable, and the instrument on the vehicle picks up the tone. So they steer left or right based on...
And tone strength.
Yeah. Well, you have a kind of a waterfall. It's similar in a lot of ways to the Norbit display.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a waterfall display as you're going along. But just, I spent hours with one of those machines just trying to find the cable. And that's the issue, you know, with they don't have a lot of excursion to fly out with that heavy cable, so they're moving the ship all over. And it's expensive operation with that big ship. But they're typically really nice accommodations that have all the toys. They have to be ready at a moment's notice to go out. Fix our internet.
Tech-wise, is that? I mean, this is a huge ship, right? This is twice the size of ours, right? I mean, so tech-wise, what else other than an ROV, right? Like, why is this such an enormous vessel?
Well, they have to hold a lot of cable. Their holds have, you know, kilometers upon kilometers of cable.
Yeah, there's specialized equipment on there for not only getting the cable on and off of the vessel and storing it, but to test it. Some of them have...
Don't they also retrieve cable as well?
yeah, they have a lot of gear to, you know, they'll just go out and grapple the cable, pick it up. They have several ways of recovering a damaged cable. And some of them, I'm not sure about this vessel, but have the capability to splice a cable. So have a specialized room and equipment.
Yeah, they spliced. Did 2 splices on the way out here. They had to splice our cable. They don't splice until we call them out.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they literally drag a broken cable up off the seabed from depth and patch it, send it back down.
Yeah, I did take a peek at the room. It's very cool.
Yeah, high tech, ultra clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Some very smart people on board.
Yeah, it's very specialized.
And there's only a few cable ships, right? That's my understanding.
That's my understanding as well.
This capability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole operation is a specialized deal. But there's I don't know how many are here on the West Coast. There's one on the East Coast. I've been on one in Singapore. There's one station there. There's one in UK, Aberdeen.
Yeah, seems like there's regional turf.
Is the technology pretty standard across internationally in terms of, you know, how it's being laid? And I mean, they all have a deep sea tractor that's just towing cable along.
The ROVs themselves, Yeah, there's a couple companies that specialize in manufacturing them. Perry was one of them. Sansub in Texas also had their vehicles on one of the cable ships there. Where was I? Either Portland or Seattle. Can't remember.
That's kind of neat to think about. I guess I never thought that like the piloting training transcends the international boundaries, right? If like the producer is kind of making it globally.
Yeah, most of the trencher personnel, they're legit techs. They're really good. You got to be welders, electricians, electronic, plus being a pilot, operator.
Yeah, I know that when we do interactions with schools, we make sure to show a view of the ROV hangar just to show like the engineering that takes place on the day-to-day, right? I mean, I'd love to see a shot of, inside this ship as well, right? Inside of the Innovator, just like the skill of being able to do this type of work at sea and maintain a device as complex as an ROV, hundreds of kilometers away from shore, right? I mean, I think that's a testament to the skills that you guys have, right? Like just being able to fix on the fly like this.
That particular machine doesn't have a hangar. It sits right there. So all the tech work is done in place. That thing probably weighs, I don't know, 10 tons, something like that.
It's incredible. And even like, again, splicing fiber optic cable at sea, what kind of laboratory did you have to construct to be able to do that properly?
Nico's been in their cable room, haven't you?
Yeah, I walked along the deck and just kind of looked into the splice room and stuff like that, and down into the cable holds.
Always amazes me when they're loading out cable. They have personnel in there walking the drum, making sure all the cable goes in exactly how it's supposed to, doesn't get twisted.
So I do have an ROV hazard to report.
Oh yeah.
Just on the mud mat when it comes down. Apparently some rope fouled around the amp steel that's coming off the mud mat and going down to the chain and then anchor.
Right.
So this rope, they weren't able to slip it.
Put that in the log.
So there's 20 meter of rope fouled around the am steel close to where the mud mat is, and it would be a natural fiber, so it'll be a little buoyant.
Roger.
How would that affect where the anchor is pulling on the mud mat? Will it be able to orient it?
I don't think it will affect it. It's just like, I think it's just like a slip line. The am steel will still be taking all the weight of the anchor and chain. It's just
so this is separate then from the line that's coming from, okay, so we've got the mud mat and we've got the one and we've got that going down to the anchor.
Yeah, so
there's a separate line?
This separate rope is fouled on that line that comes off right off the mud mat.
Okay,
and
but
we
it's
don't
not
know
that
quite
line.
where it will be. It's a different line. It's a natural fiber rope, and it'll be about 20 meters.
Okay.
So it could be floating up.
20 meters.
20 meters of rope. That may be floaty. Okay. Let me draw that in the diagram. It's just.
So on that drawing,
thank you.
They're
CI
saying
for letting us know about that.
Yeah.
They put an eye in the am steel. The am steel is the rope coming directly off the mud mat.
Mm-hmm.
They put that 60 meters from the anchor, or 20 meters from the mud mat, and put the slip line through there. So I'd say 20 meters from the mud mat, along that rope, there will be some fouled rope that could be 20 meters floaty.
So not on the mud mat, up
No, it's close
20
to the
meters
mud mat.
up.
It's 20 meters from the mud mat.
20 meters below.
And is it 20 meters of line?
Sorry, below or above?
It's going down to the anchor line, so it's below the mud mat.
Okay.
So it's attached.
It's
20
attached
meters below.
to, there's an eye in the rope that goes down to the anchor,
Oh, yeah,
20
yeah.
meters below the mud mat, and
Right.
it got fouled in that.
Right.
And we think that the line is 20 meters.
Yeah, of some kind of
what-
natural fiber.
Okay, got it.
And I also did just get a cable call out 515 meters.
Roger, thank you.
5:15. That's worth logging to, Jake. Get some idea of the timeline. Did you log that time with the? They're at 500 meters.
So that's 23 minutes. Yeah, it tracks.
Yeah. Kilometer an hour, even I can figure that out. Took me a while, but I got it.
Well, it was the fact that both of you were like,
If we don't work in those types of
not figuring. I was like, am I just crazy? I was second guessing myself.
I was trying to convert it to meters a minute.
I know. That was the same way my brain was working.
that's all right.
For everyone who took high school physics and asked if I ever need this again, this is the day.
This
Yeah.
is the day.
For anyone that took third grade math.
I don't know, those signs going over the pass of steep grade 30, or not 30%, but 15% or something. Like, what does that mean? Well, they just fired up the second generator.
Looks like it.
How can you tell?
More power, Captain. Is there offices up there on the bridge, Nico, between the forward and aft bridges?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the captain and chief cable engineers would be.
Yeah. I know where the saying above my pay grade comes from.
It's a really big bridge.
Yeah, it looks cool with the fore and the aft and
Mm-hmm.
the wings. Nice.
I had a job up there for a while. ROV superintendent. Stuck on the bridge with a radio in your hand. I hated it. It's a nice place to be, but it's like all the action's down
Not
on
much
the
to
deck.
do.
Well, yeah, yell at the guys down on the deck. What are you doing down there? I'll stop on the winch.
Now you're back to man of the people.
Yeah, much more fun. Less stressful, that's for sure. It was kind of fun. You get to direct both ROVs, you direct all the stuff going on the deck, manage vessels coming in and out, coordinating attempting to coordinate the show. 12 long hours. The navigators also, surveyors have a spot up there on the bridge. Really, usually a nice spread, one of the corners of the bridge up there.
They're really selling it, you know? It's not bad.
Monitors everywhere, you got a view out, because you need to be able to see out. You're coordinating other vessels coming in and out as well.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting ready to lift something off on
Well,
the
I got this
areas.
door here.
Did you open the door and peek out? Was that
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You want to look? Get blasted out with light?
Well,
Yeah, you just have 1 more hour left. I think.
should be an emergency exit sign on there. It's usually a
Yeah. It's
or
dark down.
temperature controlled environment in here.
Yeah.
Van temperature got fixed quick though, because that first day was frigid in here. I'm glad that we rectified all the.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had
Set for tropics.
yeah.
I mean, this morning it was still pretty chilly in here, between like midnight and 4.
Yeah, I feel like that first day was like just out of control though.
All Amber's high-tech gear over there will
Yeah.
heat up the control van, and we'll get in a.
This is the warmest I've ever felt an ROV control van. I was considering making ONC buy some Snuggies.
Oh, yeah.
We usually try to keep them right between 18 and 20 degrees.
Branded, of course.
Yeah. Maybe with some nicknames on the, I was going to say the back, but I guess that's not the point of a Snuggie. On the front?
We're perfect in here now. We're
I think we should explore this.
18 degrees,
Nico always wants to do more branding.
Yeah.
19 in the back row.
Actually, she's right there.
ONC graphics team for the win. I mean, yeah, everyone's sporting your shirts and.
So this is B.
Oh, yeah.
they're
This
cool.
is van A.
A, yeah.
We do have
It'll
a
take
fantastic
a
Oh,
team.
minute
I
to
see.
update.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there should be one here that is apparently not updating, but there's a sensor back there behind Amber's rack, so it'll probably be 10 degrees warmer than these.
Yeah.
Typically, if that's 68 there, it's like 78 to 85 behind the racks. I don't know why it's not updating.
Speaking of branding, we actually got
Yeah.
to speak
It's
to
80
the
degrees
student
Fahrenheit
who
behind the rack.
designed the mission patch yesterday. So every year, the students enter in their contributions for what will represent the year's expedition patch, and it was really cool to actually talk to the student themselves. And, it was
I liked this year's.
yeah, really good.
Where were they
Though
from?
I only have the sticker, I don't have the patch yet.
Yeah, same. I've heard patches have not yet been made,
Oh.
but I eagerly await.
Yeah.
because I keep those and sell them every year.
I want to make like a sleeveless jean jacket with like all these Nautilus patches.
Yeah. Your
I don't
hiking-
think I've ever
hiking
actually,
jacket.
I don't think I've gotten a patch.
No?
Just stickers, yeah.
Yeah.
I could totally picture you in a sleeveless jean jacket.
See if Jamie has a store of them or something. I
Yeah,
wonder if there's some
jeez.
retroactive ones that you could say
Missing
you're
out.
due.
I guess that means I shouldn't get a sleeveless jean jacket in preparation.
The cable's at 622 meters now.
622, Roger.
It's a golden hour.
Where's all my fidget stuff? Like, this is about the time where I started to look at things I can mess with.
Yeah, I need to print some more. I have all the bits for the cat that fell apart,
Oh yeah.
and I brought some more bearings.
Yeah, these bearings are rusted, but they'll do the job.
Yeah, I have the parts to reprint one of those. My kids made those, I told you that, when they were like 9.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
They got on Tinkercad,
That's a good one.
turned them loose on Tinkercad and a 3D printer, and within 2 weeks I had a bowl full of fidget spinners on the kitchen counter.
I like this.
We got cubes downstairs.
This title of this chat.
Maybe I should make some Nautilus themed ones.
Yeah. Got to get Jake one. He's playing with a knife instead.
I think it's Trevor's. I sat on it earlier.
Yeah, well, I guess I did get it.
Someone in the chat is asking if we ever get lonely out here, and I'm thinking, I wish. Like, I mean, I really like you guys and everything.
It's
but
the absolute opposite.
yeah. I've had line of sight on at least 5 of you, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite thing with getting on, just being in a room by myself at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to isolate a little when I go home.
I'm very fortunate to have 2 very, very patient bunkmates. One who is presently here.
Oh.
Either saintly in behavior or very deep sleepers. Maybe a little bit of both.
I've been known to talk in my sleep, so that's a good
Yeah.
start.
And I think we're all pretty much on opposite sleep schedules, right? So
Yeah,
there's-
I don't know how that worked out with 3 of us in there, but it's pretty good.
Because no one sleeps.
yeah.
3 of you.
Yeah,
Are you? You're in the quad?
yeah.
I actually prefer to be on the same schedule. And that's why Dirk and I changed to the same room. So just
Oh,
like
really?
it's uninterrupted sleep, and if you want to use the room during the day to like do work or anything like that, it's available as
Yeah.
well.
In the past, I've had like a little workspace, you know, even if it is a tiny desk or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's like a little bit of escape from the social deck. But yeah, this time we're crammed in there pretty tight.
We rarely ever actually have 4 in the quad anymore. I think it'd be cool if we made one of the bottom bunks a
desk.
Yeah.
desk or couch.
Yeah, the issue we've run into with that is some people set up camp in there, and then your roommate is...
Yeah.
Cable's at 722 meters.
722,
Well, my roommate's awesome, so I'll...
It's a lot of roommate pandering.
Yeah.
Something's happening. Something's going on.
Must have seen my Snickers bars or something.
Yeah.
My stash.
My first trip aboard here, I was roommates with Ian, who's very particular. And so I got instructions on proper etiquette of being a roommate was. One of them was to shower daily.
Oh, Ethan.
Ethan, sorry.
Ethan, yeah. Yes, I do recall those rules.
When I came out as an intern, I was roommates with Hannaford, and he was
Oh.
learning how to play the guitar.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
No.
It was quite bad.
At least it wasn't the
I didn't say
bagpipes or
nothing, but-
something.
What
I
song
just
was he
stayed,
learning?
stayed cleared away. Yeah.
Hey, Jake.
Yeah?
What song was he learning?
Oh, I
Wonderwall?
Could it be called a song at that point?
can't
It's
call
always
it. I
Wonderwall.
can't call it a song. I don't know.
What college frat quad was he trying to...
No, in Hannaford, it was probably like Led Zeppelin. Song remains the same. Or
Yeah.
Deep Purple. Dum, dum, dum.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
What's going on? You guys talking about me?
Yeah. Wait, is that you? How'd you plumb in here?
We miss you, Mike, if you're listening. Must be nice having a real job.
I sailed with them last year, I think.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, me too. He was out with us last year.
He came out on one of the tele jobs too.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's the one you were talking about, because you
Yes.
weren't out here last year. Right, right.
Yeah.
He was out with the pelagic crew, was he?
Yeah.
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 And Greg.
Yeah, and Greg Dippendale.
Yeah, I miss sailing with Greg too. He's so even keeled.
Yeah. Great pilot.
Yeah.
Super calm.
I love one of his sayings. I get all excited sometimes, and he would tell you, relax, all good, nobody was killed.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think it was your first time sailing with him. And, you know, like, on this ship, it's normally the Herc pilot and a very green person, but for ONC, we have a lot of Herc-capable pilots on the same watch. And you never know someone's capability. And Dan was sitting in the Argus seat, and Greg was here, and he had the arm, and I think, you know, Dan was watching to see, all right, who am I working with here? And Greg was holding something like backwards and upside down, and they were like, oh, we actually need to plug it in this different way. And he just paused for a second and did this like backwards, like weird, like pull around move, and it was like the exact thing. And Dan just looked at him, and you were just like, that was cool.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah. You're like, all right, I think it will be a good watch. It was like three-dimensionally working out to spin it without re-grabbing.
Yeah, Ed's lucky to have him. Both of those guys are good hands. I wonder how they're going with their new, they're supposed to be doing sea trials about now with the new vehicle. Have you heard
Yeah,
any scuttlebutt?
K2's out there now.
Not in a few days. I haven't talked to K2 in a few days.
Yeah.
Is that the
Amazing.
Florida one that you're talking about, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they've been hard at work. I caught up with Greg a couple weeks ago. Trying to put in a lot of the work now, so it's smoother sailing later.
Yeah.
But he and K2 have been working on it pretty hard. And others, I'm sure.
Yeah, I miss those days. I don't know. At that point in the project, you're behind schedule and over budget. It's probably not the fun time. It's the crunch time, so make it happen.
It's got to be cool to build something from the ground up like that.
Yeah, it is.
Collapse and go smaller.
It's a lot of fun being part of the, takes such a talented, such a dynamic group of people to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So is Nicole out with them as well?
Nicole is chief scientist at FIO.
Right.
And so I think it's kind of will be built for the Western Flyer, yeah, and then she's kind of overseeing that program.
Are they launching that thing through the old moon pool on the Flyer?
I'm not sure anything about that.
I saw a picture. It looked like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it pretty common for you guys to kind of keep in touch? Is there that sense of community and that network?
Yeah, I'd say so. I keep in touch with a lot of the mappers, and, you know, like, because we all, you know, each kind of generation of them we kind of started together, and now we're starting to seep into some of the positions of, you know, kind of having some say. So it's good to hear what other organizations are doing, both on from the mapping side and ROV side, just kind of. And and in the contract world, there's always, you know, somebody really needs somebody to come out to do a few weeks or something, and if you're available, that kind of thing. It's good to keep in touch, keep that rapport going. Plus, they're my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
But professionally, yeah.
The old saying, not what you know, but who you know.
Yeah.
Are there like technical forums or conferences, you know, for that as well? Like, you know, or I don't know.
I just mentioned one. So the UNOLS vessels have a listserv RV tech, and people post questions out there all the time, like, oh, I've got this CTD, does anyone else have it? I'm having this problem with it, blah, 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 you know. And it's kind of cool to see the community chime in and pipe in, and you can tell when somebody's new on the job that's kind of doing it, and there's a lot of support, you know, from, and people post positions that are available, whatnot.
Yeah.
Cable's at 850 meters.
850, roger. Is there stuff like that for ROV? Is there like an ROV forum, listserv or anything?
In there's the Suva thing that Jason Williams started. And then there's, yeah, ROV, what is it, ROV forum turned into Ocean News kind of thing.
Oh yeah, there's the, yeah. ROV Planet or something? Is that
Yeah, ROV Planet, that's it, thank you.
I'm sure there's one for subs as well, human-occupied subs.
I've been on lately on the Blue Robotics one.
They have a good forum for like, yeah, hobby, not really hobby, but like, yeah, smaller ROVs.
Yeah. I missed my chance. The CEO of Sexton, the manufacturer of our fancy new cameras, they're heavily involved in the MATE organization, and I missed it by a few days, but they just did a big thing with the MATE competition in Newport. They went down there and they put a bunch of their cameras underwater, and they streamed the whole thing live.
Nice.
And also one of the judges in the MATE competition. Pretty heavily involved in that.
I think Greg started out in the MATE program.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's many, many years back, but yeah.
That's such a cool program, right? I mean, just, you know, kind of just old manning that, but like, you know, the fact that that's something that students and young people have access to now is, you know, as opposed to working fast food, right? Like this was pretty much the only line you could put on your resume at the time, you know. But yeah, I see that one of the schools I support has that program at the local community college, right? And getting these kids that type of hands-on access, you know, to I mean, how many of us even knew about ROVs and this type of exploration in high school?
Yeah, and just for a little plug, both Jake and I were interns on Nautilus, started here and now have careers in this field. So I started as a seafloor mapping specialist, kind of came out in 2013. I was still in grad school. I was doing remote sensing, more land-based, and then kind of went in the marine direction, just starting with Nautilus, and now I'm still here.
Yeah, I started in 2019 as an ROV intern, and I was just finishing an undergraduate degree in ocean engineering, but I wasn't doing anything with marine robotics. And when I came out here, I was like, this is exactly what I want to do, and
Yeah.
just switched gears.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
I was like I like doing field work and remote sensing, and it's like, well, this is field work. It's just on a boat, and I like it. So
It does tend to get into the blood.
And by the way, on in terms of opportunities on ship, the internship program extends past the ROV side, right? So we have other types of interns, like video engineering, for example, as routes to come on board too.
Yeah, and I was actually an intern back in 2016 for the video engineering
oh,
program.
I didn't mention you because I thought you came in as a professional. I didn't know they came in as an
Yeah.
intern. Yeah.
I had a background in film production already, but then I went into the ocean side of it, and that's
Yeah.
how I got introduced to Nautilus.
Nice.
Oh.
But it's so neat to hear, right? Like none of
Yeah.
us had like the clear path to like, oh, for sure I'm going to be on a ship doing exactly this, right? It's like you had a skill set in a, somewhat analogous field, but kind of got rerouted off of an experience like an internship or something. So
Yeah, you'll see a big majority of us at ONC, at least in the physical operation side, also started as co-op students, engineers, co-op students.
I'd say if you're interested in, ocean science, marine biology, that's the one where you'd want to be going down that path. You wouldn't necessarily, I mean, you could sure change tracks, but you wouldn't necessarily want to have a background in some land-based, thing and then come to do this. You would want to have a background in it, but otherwise, following the skill sets that are needed, like a ship is when we were talking about Cable Innovator, and the same with Nautilus, is, there's so many specialized people on there that have individual jobs that are, until you're on the boat, not related to the ocean, and then you'll gain specialized knowledge that involve your field plus doing that in a marine environment,
Totally.
subsea.
Cable is at 953 meters.
953.
Guess it's best to find out if you get your sea legs early, though.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a determining factor, although I've seen some people work through it, and I'm like, man, if I was as seasick as you are regularly, I think I would pick another profession.
It's not getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can think of several of the people I work with that have been doing it for decades, still suffer
Yeah.
every time, like the first 3 days.
Well, if you're a young person and you have a opportunity to get an internship on this, seasick or not, like this is the type of experience that sets you up for, the next big thing, right? Like, again, even if this is not what you end up doing, and you decide this is not what you want to do, like still amazing experience to be out here and to put that on your resume. And, every internship is better than the last one, right? Like, you climb the ladder. So if this is where you can get out and have that to speak about, I can only imagine what your next step is going to be career-wise, right? I mean,
We've been talking about it actually in the context of the Nautilus, that program has been established for a decade now. We're starting to see, like, for example, I mentioned this the other night, but we have a new software that we're starting to incorporate in our operations, and the person who came out as a representative of that company, QPS, to kind of teach us how to use it, helped us install it, teach us how to use it, was a former intern on Nautilus. So we're getting to the point where it's trickling out into the field where we actually, some of the professionals that are getting, on these different outfits, ships or software companies like Green Sea, everything, you know, we have little representatives in each one of them that has, you know, either sailed as an intern or just on Nautilus in general as a professional. So it's kind of nice to have that. It's not that, you know, it's just that the nature of having a lot of people come through the ship. You'll have kind of people who have experience here, and then they're working at other companies, and you can kind of ping them for stuff, which is nice.
Yeah.
Just got another update on the depth. It's at 1,000 meters now.
1,000, yeah, that's, say that works out to be a kilometer an hour.
How many per minute?
It's so funny. We're working in base 10, not base 60, you know? Totally.
It doesn't work.
Pounds, meters, and knots. Wonder if there's a word for multi-unit lingo,
Yeah,
like bilingual, but
That's just being a Canadian.
Oh yeah, to be able to transfer.
Imperial.
I'm still not great with Celsius, to be honest.
I'm not great with Fahrenheit.
Yeah, no, I
refuse.
Celsius makes more sense. Don't get me wrong. I just don't. It's just not native to me. I'm not familiar with.
If it's hot out, I can think in Fahrenheit, but if it's cold out, I can only think in
Yeah.
Celsius.
one of the easy things about Celsius is a nice spring day, it's finally double digits.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, 10 is still a little chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, teens is like t-shirt weather after a cold winter.
They meet up at -40, I know that.
And no one wants to be there.
Yeah, because I experienced that. and then they were like, you know, Celsius or Fahrenheit, it doesn't matter. They're the same.
Where was that?
Up in Utqiagvik, used to be Barrow, Alaska, doing some sea ice thickness stuff up there. That was when I was in the land-based remote sensing, starting to do pseudo ocean stuff on ice. I was working in cryosphere stuff, high altitude, high latitude, and mostly with LiDAR.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, but now I transferred that to the multi-beam sonar and other subsea acoustics.
But that would have been LiDAR work back in like 2012?
Yeah, I started doing LiDAR. Now I got a LiDAR on my phone, but there was not.
Right.
And that wasn't the case back then.
Now they have it subsea in the commercial world.
Yeah.
Metrology is a thing of the past. So multi-beam's going the way of the 8-track tape too.
Yeah, for the near
High resolution.
near surface. Yeah.
Yeah, they're 2 in deep water.
Ah.
Well, some of the stuff I've seen is on like jackets and stuff like that in
Yeah.
300, 500 meter range.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they could ever get like water penetrating wavelength, right? If that ever became the case, and you could do this from.
There's a company in Texas that has a kind of a corner on the market for the subsea LiDAR. They have an algorithm and some hardware. And a lot of the construction companies, engineering companies are using those guys for subsea inspection.
Are they using 532 nanometers, just like high powered, or are they doing?
I don't know what the details are. Been out of the game for
Yeah, I haven't.
5 years. That's
LiDAR
what I
stuff in a
see.
while.
That's what I see in the trade bags and my feed. ROV Planet for one. Then they got the monthly magazine that comes out. But I worked, let's see, last year before last, I worked with one of the commercial surveyors from the Gulf of Mexico on a ropeless job. We did the axial WCA, or not WCA, RCA they're now calling it, Regional Cable Array. And that was his specialty, was the subsea LiDAR. Some of the maps he had were just absolutely incredible. Could see in a shackle, and the screw that screws into a shackle, the eye, the little eye for the lanyard. Some of the detail was just incredible.
Yeah. When I was doing it, I was doing terrestrial LiDAR. So we're doing it on sea ice, but then my main project was on rock glaciers in the Andes. And you could resolve a lot, but then you'd have to account for surface roughness to be able to assess change.
Yeah. The NISAR mission, which is launching later this year.
What's the name of that again?
NISAR, N-I-S-A-R.
NISAR, yeah.
It's 2 radar bandwidths, but it's going to provide centimeter resolution of the planet every 12 days.
Is that
really?
DINSAR? Is it DINSAR a differential
It's SAR, right? So it's synthetic aperture.
Yeah, synthetic,
Yeah.
but and then the differential, because there's 2 of them?
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
bands, yep.
That's
So, and they'll be able to get ground penetrating of the cryosphere, so, similar, perhaps similar to some of your old work. So, I mean, with centimeter resolution, they'll be able to see.
That's just
that
unnecessary.
change. Yeah, right.
That's cool.
So
That's awesome.
It's
Those are-
wild. The real technical hurdle was, where do we put all this data?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how do you get that much?
Centimeter resolution. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And
Cable is at 1100.
1100, roger. Thank you.
So that's going to be the, really the biggest undertaking of following shoreline and change in moisture and soil and things like that.
Is that the project you're working on now?
No. This my buddy's the flight systems engineer for it.
Nice. And what's the project you're working on?
I support the Clipper mission, Europa Clipper.
Nice.
As well as several geology projects. So that's my personal tie to our expedition here is following those hydrothermal vents and wondering.
What is your focus on the Clipper mission? Like your role there?
Yeah, so on that one mostly I support the ed and outreach stuff of it. So it's a lot more the science comm of it, which has been really neat to see, because the engineering is so outside of my wheelhouse, but the future work for it, right? So the first ambitious goals for Clipper is to just get a feel for how thick that ice is, and then maybe get an understanding of what's happening underneath. But in the future, when we start doing exactly what you guys are doing now, right? Like, how do we get under the water and explore? In the past, I've worked on the Perseverance rover and put instruments on that, but that's drive a small car on a nice flat surface, no resistance, nothing like that. Next up, how do you swim in an alien ocean 750 million miles away? Truly ROV, capital R on the ROV.
Yeah.
That's the next big tech hurdle.
We've done some proxy work on here with both understanding the time delay, but also bring some of the exploratory tech out, like the we had a grabber.
Yeah, that robotic arm.
Yeah, that was.
We had the Raman laser on here too.
Yeah.
The arm is currently sitting on the floor in a shed at JPL right now, so I see it now and then.
Oh, awesome! Send a photo next time you see it.
We had one of the NASA engineers come to Albany, Oregon, of all places, and give a talk I missed out on, but my kids went to, about that project. And they were completely blown away. They stood in line for an hour afterwards to get an autograph from the engineer.
Oh, that's cool.
That gave the talk.
That's awesome.
It's one of the, it seemed like one of the lead engineers on the project you're referring to. They came home talking in meters and.
Good for them.
That was
Yeah,
great.
good converts. Yeah.
I was surprised that NASA doing an outreach in Albany, Oregon.
It's really cool.
That mission launches in October, so we'll all be in Florida for that.
Nice.
And that's going to be a big rocket. Because you know, again, space. This is just our solar system, right? And space is still so big.
What's it going up on?
So SpaceX is launching it on Falcon. Yeah.
Really?
But it won't be able to you know, recycle the stages, right? You got to effectively get all the fuel that you can out of it, and then it's 7 years to get there.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's why I've started up a few other projects, so I've got some downtime before we start getting data.
"7 years makes blue water time seem like nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This is good practice for me.
In some ways, this is a 7-year cable, eh?
Sick burn.
Okay, I'm gonna go off comms and discuss the handover.
Yeah, it's getting that
See
time.
ya.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Rennie.
Thank you.
Cable's at 1,200 meters.
Just for people tuning in here as we're getting ready to change shifts, asking about what's going on. If you see in the in channel 3, there's a second ship. This ship is currently lowering the mud mat we're going to deploy on the ocean floor. So got the ROVs deployed on Nautilus already down at the target spot, just a little ways away from the location where this mud mat will get dropped. We'll get that installed and then start tracking cable back to our original site. So the ship, the cable innovator that you can see in the satellite feed is going to kind of lay the cable down from the surface, and Hercules will be the down on the ocean floor, making sure that everything's exactly where it needs to be. So 2 ship operations for the next a long while here. As you know, you can imagine the complexity of making sure that the cable reaches its destination, even though we're 2.5 kilometers above the ocean floor right now.
Cable's at 1,300 meters.
gonna be like first landing, start and stop, hour process to get the second one in the water. Let's go again.
Gotcha. Right. So they can just start dumping the second one overboard, right? Because it's gonna. Yeah. Yeah.
Go at the same speed as this.
Right. Right.
So dumping is a
Yeah. Yeah.
generous.
Yeah. 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 Gently sauntering downward. Yeah.
I think we'll hopefully be dumping having three.
Oof. Yeah.
Sorry, we keep going. No more cables. Less cables. Moorings, networks.
Yeah. Was that that was an ONC one? I didn't know it was on an ONC. Yeah, yeah. It was on an ONC one as well. It was you guys. Yeah. I remember it on the news, but yeah.
Okay, dead vehicle recovery. One of the pilots is like, okay, that's not right.
Cable's at 1,400 meters.
We're just doing a shift change right now. Lots of handover chatter in the control van. So thanks everyone for your patience as we keep SPL a little bit quieter for all of this operation to continue. And just to recap what we're doing, you might see the cable innovator on the satellite feed 3 on the nautiluslive.org. We are working with the cable innovator to deploy a 3-kilometer cable at Cascadia Basin. And this work is a little bit slow to make sure we don't make any mistakes. It's very precise work and a lot of positioning and moving and checking to make sure we are in the right spot. I believe the first mud mat, which is a large structure that anchors one end of the cable, has been deployed by the cable innovator. So we are just waiting for it to hit the seafloor.
We just heard from the cable ship that the mud mat is now at 1,500 meters depth. Once it reaches 2,000 meters, we'll use the ROV to go and inspect it and guide it down to the bottom. It's kind of a pivot from our original idea because the acoustic beacons that they have on the mud mat or on the cable ship, they're currently not working. So we'll use the ROV to help guide it. Some of the beacons are working, and it looks like the one that's on this mud mat actually had a battery failure before deployment. So unfortunately, we can't interrogate it. So we don't know where it is.
Okay.
But luckily, it's a mud mat with a very heavy cable, so it sits probably right below that A-frame.
Mm-hmm. So we have a group of viewers from Brazil, hello, that is wondering where we are. We are currently off the west coast of Canada, where we set sail from Sydney on the southern tip of Vancouver Island on June 5th. And we will be servicing Ocean Networks Canada's 800-kilometer loop of fiber optic cable. This long cable provides internet connectivity and power to thousands of sensors in the deep ocean. And you can see a map of where we are on oceannetworks.ca. So this expedition, NA-161, also known as ONC Abyss, primarily focuses on operations, so engineering tasks and recovery and deployment of various scientific instruments. All of these instruments provide open source, free data for anyone around the world with an internet access. And you can access all of this on Oceans 3.0, which is Ocean Networks Canada's data management portal. Right now we are doing a shift change. It is 12:08 p.m. Pacific time. And so our team of ROV pilots up front, which you can see on satellite feed number 3, they are just passing over duties and tasks. So thank you for your patience as we switch crews.
Okay, I got you. Turn you down. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this a little closer to me. Okay, sure. Not really, other than I can see you. But yeah, happy. Sure, I should be going to port. Yeah, better for the tether. 6-8, whatever. Okay, so I'll do that. Yeah, I can turn around now. We turn around right here. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. I'm gonna keep what, 15? 15 delta.
I also just want to make sure, were you guys informed about the fouling about 20 meters below the mud mat? Great.
Okay, winching up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come out of auto head just to kind of see how it is. It's really, yeah, it's pretty fighty right now. So.
I think so, yeah. We're going to need max stretch to get over there. So that'll be tail to tail for that anyway. And I don't know, coming up and going down with the tether underneath that land is just not nice.
And visually, we're not offering any more information than.
Yeah. Probably forever. Yeah.
Trevor, are you good if I switch you to USBL?
Please do, yep.
Great.
Okay, so we've heard from the cable ship. It's
Dirk, if
confirmed.
you're talking to us, please unmute.
I am unmuted.
I can hear Dirk. Just
Can you
fine.
hear now?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay.
You hear him?
So it looks like currently they're at 760 meters, and that is to the mud mat.
Try again.
So their depth is 1,760 meters.
Roger.
Okay.
There you go. And that's to the mud mat.
To the mud
To
mat.
the mud
Okay.
mat.
So the anchor will be 100 meters below that.
Roger.
So they're calling out mud mat depths.
Yeah.
Okay, that's important. That's good.
Yep, good to know. Awesome.
So yeah, so they want to come all stop 150 meters off when they get to that point.
Cool. So, yeah. 1K an hour is how many meters per minute? $16 meters a minute. Okay, cool. I'm coming up a lot faster than you.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay. I'm just staying at 20. I'm not going to race up.
Yeah, roger. I'll catch up here.
Right. S 17 something. What was that number, Dirk? 17 something?
Yeah, it was 1760.
Thank you.
But
it's obviously different now, but yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
so we're just going to have them stop at 2000.
Okay, so they're probably going to be there a little after bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
That's fine. Blow the ship, I guess.
Had it.
Like, I don't think there's going to be much current pushing it, is what I mean.
Right. Do you have any map about where the ship is?
They're due north of us, is that correct?
Correct.
So, and they're 100 and something meters, 110 meters.
110 meters, ship to ship.
That's stern to stern?
Yeah, I don't know if it's...
100 meters, you said? 110. I think that's stern to stern, right? Hopefully. So if I'm 30 meters, call it 40 conservatively from our stern, that leaves us 60 meters of possible current floppage. Yeah, so I'm not going to do any rubber banding right now until we're up near there.
Quick question for the front row.
Yeah.
Once they're at 2,000 meters, would it be better if we start pinging? Oh no, there's nothing to ping. Never mind.
Roger.
It would be better to ping, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but do we need to ping the bottom, or we've got a pretty good fix on that, right? On the target.
Yeah, we have a target for that. So
no point us pinging that beacon.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so at 20 meters a minute, 21, whatever we're doing, they'll get there first, which is great. That's fine. .7 meters per division.
Yeah.
Cool.
Easy math.
Yeah.
We did from the social deck. Yeah. So I think they're slightly different heading. So they're going to be a little closer stern to stern, I think. We can always ask Bridge to confirm what they see. I think he said 100 meters? What, can you tell me the length of this green line from there to there?
Ah, too far.
117?
Yeah.
117. take a photo of that screen. Just another thing I can refer back to, you know. Whoa. Extend. Okay, great. All right.
Is it cool if I ask you a couple questions, Dirk?
Sure.
So besides acting as a anchor for the cable, what else does the mud mat serve? What other function does it serve, if any?
It's also, well, in this situation, it keeps the cable nicely up and down off the stern of the cable ship. So there's going to be no kiting, which is nice since we don't have a beacon, so we know kind of exactly where it is. But it's also where the cable, the armored cable is terminated, and where our PVOF, like an oil-filled rubbery hose, much more flexible, is kind of packaged on there. So it goes from armored cable to kind of like a garden hose kind of cable. The ROV wouldn't be able to handle the armored cable and manipulate it with a connector, so that transition happens at the mud mat as well.
Thank you. And what's the cable armored with? I've heard it described as armored, but unsure what makes it armored.
Yeah, if you can think about it, it's just a regular subsea cable, somewhat, and it just would have steel wires wrapped around, like essentially like a regular steel cable around a telecommunications cable kind of thing.
Okay.
There's a little more to it, but it's just steel, basically.
That's perfect.
So we'll be at the 2,000 meter mark in 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, they are at 1925.
I think we're going to be able to hold this for 20 minutes.
Roger.
Hey, Nico.
We could
Just
go
in
a
time
little
for
faster.
some action.
Want to go a little faster?
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah. Hand cramps. Yeah, we're not gaining anything by going slower. I don't know. Vehicles are staying pretty stationary. So it's should be okay. I'm making 27 now.
Okay.
28. 29.
Plan is still to have them stop at 2,000?
Yeah, 2,000, but that's the mud mat. So 100 meters below would be the anchor.
Okay. Yoink.
The bottom was 2660. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to have them, when we get to that point, we're going to have them come off stop at 2510 on their payout, ship's payout, cable ship.
Yeah, at the very end, yep.
Yeah.
Which way is Atalanta facing right now? Is it facing us or is it facing the cable ship? Do we
South.
okay, so we're expecting to see the wire in the bottom half of that screen on its sonar?
Yes, we'll see it with Hercs first,
Okay.
likely, because we are equal delta, 0 delta,
Okay.
equal depth.
And what's the range on the sonar right now?
Hercs is 100,
Oh, okay.
Atalanta's is slightly more.
Way out there.
Am I wrong? 50 and 100.
50 and 100, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Tritech is
24.
24.736.
Repeating.
Sorry, so Atalanta is the 100, Herc's 50, or other way
Yeah.
around? Okay.
And I guess Atalanta can see slightly farther than Herc. Just a little bit. 20 meters farther. Cable ship's probably almost there.
Yeah.
Gotta be. We haven't had the last update, but
No, they're probably pretty close, but I mean, I don't know, I figure we're like 10 minutes behind them.
Yeah.
there it is. Mud mat is at 2,000 meters depth, and they're all stopped.
There it is, he says. I'm like, where?
Yeah,
Looking at
especially
all my
so,
screens and sonar. I'm
Right.
like,
especially so loud.
heart skips a beat, like, holy moly. All right.
Alarms
Good morning.
going off.
Wake up.
Alarms triggered by volume.
So at this point, how long will it take the mud mat to hit the seafloor?
From here, it's probably, depends how, I don't know, once we see it, I guess we'd have to establish how fast we're gonna go. I'm not sure if we know that yet.
Okay.
So we'll find it, but
It'll be a slow process because we gotta kind of hone in the position as well.
We're going to first acquire the mud mat, and second acquire the anchor, and then descend.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Makes sense.
Meanwhile, inspecting things along the way. Okay.
How's it going, Bridge?
It's Friday.
Yeah, looking forward to the long weekend.
It's Friday. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that should be good.
Point the aft a little more towards where we're going.
Can you repeat that?
I think you should.
Yes.
Yeah, you should communicate helping.
Yeah, roger that. You probably should. Thanks.
Yeah, they probably want to know all sorts of different things.
Hey, let me know if you want me to keep the SPL a bit quieter. I'm just going to answer a couple questions from our comment box, if that's okay with everyone.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're still a few minutes away from stopping.
That's what I figured. So we just had a watch change. So in the back row, we have Cassie on data logging, and we have Nico and Dirk overseeing the operations, myself, Yuko on comms, Anna as our video engineer, and in the front row on ROV and navigation is Josh, Trevor, Gabby, and Johan. And you can see the current watch on nautiluslive.org just below the chat box. And so today's operations is a very long dive. We are working with the cable innovator to lay about 3 kilometers of new cable at Cascadia Basin. So right now we are just waiting for the mud mat to get to the sea floor. We are diving at 2,216 meters. which is, and this is also the deepest site on ONC's Neptune Observatory. If you go to our social media, ocean_networks on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook and Threads, you can see photos of the METMATs that our colleague Caroline has sent from on board the Cable Innovator.
Okay.
Hey, video. The ship is changing heading. Can you please follow Cable Innovator on that, whatever camera that is, starboard cam?
I can.
Thank you. I don't know why, I just feel like I need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, what am I going to do with the info? I don't know. I need it.
It's something to look at, so that's nice.
If you crack that door on your right, Johan, you'll really see it right there.
There's too many monitors, Dirk. We don't need another.
Well,
Too high
natural
definition.
light, enough windows.
That monitor's too bright.
Rennie was doing that occasionally just to get just to check.
Oh,
That's
excellent.
scale.
It's very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the
Yeah,
feeling I
get on
could
the,
yell at them and they'd hear it.
Yeah, it'll be about as good as this radio communication trainer. Huh?
Okay, we're about 1 minute from maybe being able to pick up the anchor and sonar. It might be a little far still, but
I think you have to be in
you have to be over there.
the one over there. The trainer seat. Yep. No, train. Join in the train.
All aboard.
Choo-choo.
Hey, ROV team, I got a question in the chat for you if you are available to answer.
Sure, we could do a quick one.
Yeah, they're wondering what are the specific roles of each ROV in today's operation.
Yeah, well, right now Trevor is sitting in the Herc seat. I'm sitting in the co-pilot seat, and then we have Gabby who's sitting in the trainer seat. That we call it, but part of our team. We want to all be up here for this part of the operation, just so that we can all be have our heads in the game of this delicate operation. There's a lot of concentration and kind of trickiness that's involved, even though it's pretty slow going, because we want to make some very calculated moves. So it's good to kind of have everybody here to keep an eye on things and give input on what we should do.
Might be seeing it in Atalanta there, seeing it for two sweeps now.
I think we're going to
100 meters
probably
away.
be focused on ops for the next little bit, so I'll just kind of sign off first.
Right, thanks Josh.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool, so that might mean we're passing the anchor, 2,100 meters, 100 meters away. We're gonna keep going up. On Atalanta Mezzo, yeah. Herc's 38 meters away, that one on the bottom right about to pass now.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's not closer?
It's now closer? Yeah, that's fine. That might be noise.
And you said we're about 100 meters away?
We were last time, this time it's just, I don't know, some noise or something, hard to see. So I'm not gonna get any closer in the meantime. Also, remember this heading is off.
Atalanta's.
Atalanta's.
Well, when we were coming down, when we were doing the 135 bearing, and I was stuck on 135 on this heading, they were like...
They were bang on?
They were pretty parallel. Yeah,
Okay.
not
Well, that's
much.
just a few degrees off.
Has it historically been
I think it just depends where we are on the world and whatever the unknown declination is set at.
What was that?
What's our declination?
Should be like 17,
17
or
at
something like
the-
that.
yeah.
I know that spot's still there.
Yeah. 85 meters.
Yeah,
90
Nico, I
meters.
think we can probably save the radio till
The
the
other
anchor
one might have been
touchdown
like the
portion of
flappy-
this.
Yeah.
Flappy line.
That's the only time when it's like super time sensitive.
Right, because it's natural fiber to be full of water.
Well, time sensitive
Right.
and when we would have any input.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, 30 meters to go.